Hi, this is Editor Troxel. In today's tutorial, we're going to continue looking at the embedded markers custom command, and we're going to go ahead and fix at least one error that I know of that exists in this thing, and that is in all of our previous examples, we've had the entire event on the timeline, which is fine, but if the entire event is not on the timeline, then our jump to marker routine is going to go to the wrong place. It's that simple. It's going to go to the wrong place. So let's look at what it's going to take to fix that, and we're also going to revisit the past couple of tutorials, and that we're going to now modify it so that it can either add the 10 seconds or it can add to the next marker, either one. And so we're going to add a selection for that as well. So let's see how we can make these changes. First of all, here's the project and the script as it was as of the last version. And I'm going to go ahead and delete everything except for the two pieces that have the built-in markers on them. So let's zoom in here, and you can see that there's a marker there, and so forth. Let's shorten this a little bit, and let's bring it in past the second marker, and then let's bring the end backward before that last marker. And so we still have a marker here, here, and here that are visible. So now when I select this and I tell it to refresh, you can still see all of these markers are there. So if I click on the first one, which isn't visible now, it slightly moves the cursor. If I move on the second one, it's taking me to there. If I click on the third one, now I'm way over here, and then each one of these is just off of where they should be. Notice the last one was way over there off the event. So what we want to do is, first of all, if I can't see it on the timeline, so if these couple of markers right here aren't visible, why even show them in the list? Same thing with this one. This one's not visible, so why should I even show that on the list? And second of all, when I click on it, if I click on this one, I want it to go to the right place, which is really right there. To make those changes, I went to my Read from Selected Events routine, and then I came down here for each marker, my marker in the media.markers. Now I'm first going to say, is this one visible? If it's visible, then I'm going to go ahead and process it. If it's not visible, I'm just going to leave it out. So if my marker.position is greater than or equal to the event.activeTake.offset. So is the marker after the beginning of that event on the timeline. And my marker.position is less than the event.length plus the event.activeTake.offset. So that says, is my marker less than the length of that event on the timeline? And if the answer is yes, I want to go ahead and add it to my list, but I want it to show the correct timeline position. So the new timeline position is going to be my marker.position plus the event start, which is what we had before, minus the activeTake.offset. And that's where it will bring it back to the left to actually end up on the marker itself. Honestly, that's the only changes we need to make to get it to show in the right place. The other change that we wanted to make was to do either 10 seconds or to do to the next marker. So what I did was I added a combo box called CMB length, and I just labeled it length to add. And so in this box we can choose how much do we want to add to the timeline. To use this, back up here into the main routine, I just set CMB length.items.add, and I put in to next marker. Then I did the same thing for 10 seconds, and then I set it to default to next marker. Now when we go down to add from the media pool, we can use this selection to determine how much to add. So here is our selected index changed. We want to look at our media just like we did before, and inside this media down here we had a length to add that we had added in the previous tutorial, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set that time code length to add equals timecode.fromSeconds 10. So let's assume that they picked 10 seconds. Then if the CMB length.selectedIndex equals 0, if they chose the next marker, then we go through and do the other routine that we added in the previous tutorial. So basically all we're doing is, let's say that they chose 10 seconds, then if they didn't, let's do what we did in the last tutorial. And that's another simple little change that did not take much to make. And so let's test both of these out and see how they work now. So we need to build it again. Then we need to copy it over. Oops, Vegas has to be closed. Now we go back into Vegas. Let's open our previous project. Once again, let's just select these two items to keep. And so now if we zoom back in, we're back on what we saw in the previous example, and I shortened the front down a little bit. Let's shorten this back down. Let's shorten this one a little bit too. We'll shorten this back down before that one. And now with both of these selected, I can hit refresh, and I can now click on any of these and we are moving to the correct location. So now let's test adding the events. So if I go to the media pool, we'll just leave it on new video track, and I'm going to have it go to next marker. So here, with lots of reading here, it goes from 48 to 132. So I know it's going to be a good distance. Let's just bring our cursor back over here. And so let's do lots of reading here. And this is going to take us to the next marker, and we can see it added 44 seconds worth. Now if we do the same thing, we'll change this to 10 seconds, and we do lots of reading here. You can see now we got an event that's only 10 seconds long. So this is also working correctly in that it's limiting it to 10 seconds, or it's taking us all the way to the next marker. So basically this is fixing a little bug that was in the previous version, in that if you didn't have the entire event on the timeline, that could definitely cause an issue. Now it properly adjusts for if you do not have the entire event there. It leaves the ones that you can't see off the list, and it properly jumps to the ones that you can see. And then now when we add, we can choose between whether to add 10 seconds or whether to add to the next marker, which just gives it a little more flexibility. So I hope you like this tutorial. Like, subscribe, and join us for the next tutorial.